So the vision is slum-free Mumbai. That is the broader vision. So it is also a step towards slum-free India. So that is a vision. Housing for all is the motto. Nobody should be left out in the process as far as housing is concerned. Such a project has never ever taken place in our redevelopment history or urban history anywhere in India. Dharavi is a bubbling economy and a thriving economy. More than $1 billion of business happens there. So the vision is slum-free Mumbai. That is the broader vision. And through that, to become slum-free Maharashtra. And it's a project of importance and highly central to the redevelopment of Mumbai. So it is also a step towards slum-free India. So that is a vision. And your question is regarding also what is the rehabilitation plan? The plan is, I will talk about the motto of this project. The motto is housing for all. So housing for all is the motto. Nobody should be left out in the process as far as housing is concerned. So it is the most inclusive SRA project, slum rehabilitation project, ever undertaken in India. And of course, it is, as I repeatedly say, it is the brownest of the brownfield projects and the world's largest urban renewal project with the tremendous complexities. And the idea is to ensure that everybody gets a house, and secondly, to ensure that the livelihoods are protected, and third and finally, to ensure that everybody is onboarded in the process, because we believe the goal is important, of course, but the process is equally important or even more important. So to bring everybody onto the same page as far as possible and to finish the project on time. So this is the overall sum and substance of the project.
Sir, Dharavikars are scared that they will be displaced and there will be concern of gentrifications. Can you explain and address the concern of Dharavikars?
See, in a project of this complexity and having a dubious distinction of having the world's longest bid process, which took almost 20 years now. So it is but natural that people have many misgivings. If I had been resident of Dharavi, I too must be really having these misgivings. And also, there is also a lot of skepticism as to whether the project will go on or not. See, that is but natural. But the 2 points that have been raised, let me address both of them. One of the main, the doubts that people have is whether the project will go through. Because it has been happening for the last 20 years. It was started in the late 80s, 1980s, last century. But finally work has started now. So let me assure you, let me assure the people through this channel that the process will go through and the project will go through. And secondly, the misgivings regarding whether the people will get a house, whether he will get his livelihoods protected. I would like to assure that everybody gets a house. As I said in the beginning, housing for all is our motto. And secondly, as far as possible, and as per the government rule, guidelines and regulations, all the livelihoods will also be protected, right? And what was the other question? You said gentrification. Yeah. See, we prepared this question concerns a master plan. There should be a proper plan in black and white as to how the process will be going through. For that, we have prepared through the SPV, prepared the master plan. The SPV has prepared a master plan. How the spatial distribution of the demography and the industries and factories will take place. So, generally speaking, it has been observed that in redevelopment projects, especially in slum rehabilitation projects, the local people are actually many times not given access to the amenities. So the question is, gentrification relates to access to amenities like open spaces, access to buildable amenities. Okay. But in this plan, if you see the plan, one can see open spaces are evenly distributed, and 43 to 44% of the total area, buildable area, is allocated for rehabilitation. And thirdly, all the buildable amenities are also, as far as possible, we have directed the SPV to give evenly, to ensure that they get even distribution spatially. If that is not done, there is a very possibility of ghettoization, which is, in other words, gentrification, whereby generally the locals are given a short shrift. So that point has been addressed, and people need not worry on this count, I think.
Sir, Dharavi business are most vociferous and in their opposition to DRP. What the efforts of DRP making to ensure that interests are make care of? What do you have to say, sir?
See, this, it is wrong to say that in the first place that the residents of Dharavi are opposed to this project. One should look at the data. So, almost about 100,000 units, whether they're families or commercial structures or industries, have been mapped. More than 80,000, near about 85,000 have been numbered, and similar number is number of families and industries which have been documented. So, as far as this process of onboarding the people is concerned, it has crossed the Rubicon. The project has taken off. And secondly, as we speak, the construction has also started, which is a very good thing. And the idea is to ensure that within about 7 years, it may take a little more, within 7 years, you have to complete the project of rehabilitation, right? Which is a humongous task. So these are the broad parameters. But the concerns are very genuine, given the track record of this project, which I have mentioned. It has not happened for the last 4 decades, but now the work has started. As I look at it, the most important part of this project is, number one, housing for all, which we are giving. Number two, in fact, more importantly, to ensure that the livelihoods are protected. It is more of a livelihoods issue, this project. And I call this project a movement, because such a project has never ever taken place in our redevelopment history or urban history anywhere in India. So, how to ensure that? For that, we have given the government, the government has given certain benefits to the project and special concessions. The most important being it has been declared as a vital public purpose project, which is very important. And all the permissions have to be given as early as possible to ensure that there is no delay. Second is, which is very interesting, will be, as far as possible, most of the people or residents of Dharavi will be shifted directly to their homes. The idea is to minimize as much as possible the possibility of having them in transit accommodation. So, effort is to minimize the transit accommodation. Okay. So, that is another thing which is very, very important. See, this project is as much about providing houses as about protecting their livelihoods. Dharavi is a bubbling economy and a thriving economy. More than $1 billion of business happens there, but it's all in informal sector. Why informal? Because there are no entitlements. This project will empower and entitle the residents of Dharavi to do their businesses. They'll come into the formal sector. They'll be protected. Secondly, let us look at what are the types of businesses that are there. Dharavi is India's largest recycling machine. Okay, recycling industry. From Tamil Nadu, you get the tanneries send the leather goods, and leather manufacturing takes place here, which goes all over the country and abroad also. Third is the government sector. Government manufacturing textile sector is very much a part of this exercise. And fourth is the food industry. And fifth is the pottery. So very highly labor intensive industries are in this area. And the idea of the government is to ensure that these industries and manufacturing units and retail units and commercial establishments which are highly labor intensive are, number one, not only protected, but two, they will also be expanded so that the livelihoods are protected and employment opportunities are not only expanded but also new opportunities are generated. For that, certain concessions have been given. For instance, if an industry is resettled here, after redevelopment it comes back, they will get 5 years of state GST refund. There is a decision of the state cabinet headed by Honorable Chief Minister. So these such major important decisions have been taken, and it is also declared, as I said, the vital public purpose project. So while there will be disturbance during the process, I cannot say it will be all hunky-dory, and I also don't say it is the most perfect project ever. But best cannot be enemy of the good. So whatever is happening, certain course corrections can be done if necessary. However, the idea is to protect the livelihoods, and there can be no compromise on that.
Sir, recently a section of traders in Dharavi claimed that they are protesting the survey because they feel that there is no transparency in the survey process. What do you have to say?
No, the survey process is by far the most transparent process ever happening in any SRA project. In this project, I am talking about Dharavi project, because number one, it is digital. It is digitized and data is fail-safe and foolproof. Second, we also have done a digital twin whereby you just go to the map and click, you will come to know everything about that household, everything about that commercial unit. Okay. And third, more importantly, it is quite possible some people are left out during the survey. Sometimes because they are not available, sometimes because they choose not to participate, sometimes because there can be a mistake still. For that, there is a grievances redressal committee, but before that there is an appellate officer of the rank of additional collector. Then there is a grievances redressal committee if there are any grievances, and there are also a process of appellate committee. So there is independent authorities. There are independent authorities who will ensure that these commercial units or residential grievances are redressed. And there is also a mechanism which we are putting in place, the single window grievances mechanism. So that is one. Secondly, as far as traders are concerned, let me assure them that all the eligible traders and commercial units will be rehabilitated in situ in Dharavi, number one. But more importantly, in the normal course, ineligible slum dwellers, including the traders, would not have been given anything. But in this project, we are going to give them a 10% commercial area of each building of additional area is kept for the first time in any rehabilitation history as a commercial unit. Each residential building, to repeat, will have a 10% area as commercial, and that can be given to the ineligible commercial units which are on the first floor, second floor, mezzanine floor as a rental. So that proposal is in the pipeline. It is going to be approved, I am sure, very soon. So both eligible and ineligible commercial establishments will be protected. Okay. However, the places may change from here to there, because if every place has to remain as it is, then there will be no redevelopment, right? The slum will remain as it is. And that is not the purpose. Purpose is to ensure that people's interests are protected. As far as possible, it has to be rehabilitated in a very, very transparent manner and fair manner. And thirdly, their livelihoods are taken care of. Yeah.
Sir, what is the financing plan for the project of such a huge scale?
No, there is a business plan that has been prepared by the SPV and submitted to us. We have gone through that plan. It talks about a total investment, only rehabilitation. I'm talking about only rehabilitation cost, comes to about 97,500 crores. I mean, near about 1 lakh of crores. Okay, that is only rehabilitation capex and opex and related costs. Sale component I am not even counting in this. And it has consists of three components. Okay. In fact, that also gives us an understanding of what is the scope of the project. Let me now touch upon the scope of the project while answering this question. Because physical scope defines the financials also. So what is the physical scope of the project? Is as following. It has three components. The scope of the project of Dharavi. Number one, construction of rehabilitation tenements, whether residential or commercial or industrial, number one. Number two, ensure that the completely physical infrastructure is established. What is physical infrastructure? Drinking water, sewerage, storm water, roads, right? Bridges. All these things have to be done. Even electricity. See, all these houses don't have household drinking water, household toilets. So, physical infrastructure is the component 2 of the project in the scope. And third is the social infrastructure in terms of, let us say, for instance, schools, colleges, hospitals, temples, community centers, and welfare centers. All these things have also to be built. What we are doing actually in Dharavi is building a city within a city. So, it is important that all these three components come together, then only we can do that. So, that is the effort. And for that, as I said, it is about 197,000 crores is the cost of rehabilitation. And about 5,000 crores have been mobilized by the SPV in the form of compulsorily convertible preference shares or compulsorily convertible debentures, CCDs, that has been mobilized. I think finance should not be an issue at this stage.
What do you feel the PPP model is the future for the large-scale urban renewal project?
See, if you have heard the interview of our Chief Minister recently, in fact, I happened to listen to this also. He said, after looking at Dharavi project, and the experience so far, he said he has found a clue to redevelopment of Mumbai and slum-free Mumbai. In fact, that is the answer to this question. I would like to say ditto, in fact, because see, generally speaking, the slum rehabilitation projects are developer-driven. Government just gives a letter of intent, letter of approval. After that, nothing is done by SRA. But the project of this scale and size, because as we know, 60% of Mumbai's residents live in slums. So that is the number that we hear about. And if you want to take up projects of this scale, size and high-risk projects, see, this project has failed many times during the bid process itself because it's a high-risk project. So to mitigate that risk, and you require an intermediary between the developer and the residents, that intermediary is the government. So taking government and forming SPV, what you call the PPP mode, is the very important way. I don't say that is the only way, but definitely very important way of redevelopment and of Mumbai and urban renewal projects in general. So that is one. And secondly, the financial structuring of the project should be actually also be very out of the box. That's what we try to do here from the government side. It is been given certain other ways of mobilizing the resources as well. One of them I just mentioned, CCDs and CCPS mode. So I think it is going to be a very important landmark and perhaps set the trend towards future redevelopment projects, including the slum projects.
What is the benefit of the SPV in this project?
Yeah, this is what I just touched upon. The SPV has 2-3 benefits. One is, SPV is basically the PPP mode. SPV is one of them. Number one benefit is government is spending directly hardly any amount. In this equity, government gets 20% equity, 80% goes to the lead partner, but we don't spend 20% of the capex. We are spending only 100 crores. Out of 97,500 crores which I mentioned, we are spending only 100 crores as equity. But we get government, we mean the government gets 20% of the equity. And there is also something called differential voting right. So although our minuscule amount is spent, of course there are concessions. I don't deny that, they are given by the government. But as far as pure financial terms, we get a differential voting rights. There are 2 directors from the government. So it gives number 2. So one is financing benefit, and second benefit is the oversight of the government is there during the functioning of the SPV, right? There are directors from the government. And third, it gives a very comfort to the residents, because residents going to developer or to lead partner who is a private person or private entity is more difficult. But since there is a government in the SPV, in fact, it will be much more transparent and I think much more accountable. The entire process ought to be more accountable. So it ensures, in short, the PPP model ensures number one, financial mobilization, resources, mobilization of financial resources. Second, gives transparency, and third, accountability. So I think these are the benefits of an SPV model.
What systems have been set up to ensure grievances of residents will be heard firmly? Can you share the grievances addressal structure?
Yeah, there are bound to be grievances in a project of this scales, complexity and size. And let us understand what types of grievances. For instance, somebody's name may be missing from eligibility list, or somebody is owning a commercial unit or a shop but is shown as residential, or vice versa. Or instead of somebody's name, X's name, Y's name comes. So it's quite possible. For that, what we need is to ensure that in a transparent way, the grievances are addressed, and secondly, they are addressed in time. So for that, we have put in a mechanism. The mechanism is following. We have an appellate officer who hears appeals, number one. But if the person is not satisfied, the resident, he can go to the next level, that is called GRC, Grievances Redressal Committee. This will go through the core merits and demerits of each case and take an independent decision. Suppose I am not satisfied as a resident, even with the decision, there is an appellate committee which is independent of the CEO Dharavi, which is completely independent, which will ensure that the grievances are redressed. Then at the apex there is an AGRC, Apex Grievances Redressal Committee. So this mechanism has been put in place so that grievances are heard in a very transparent and very speedy manner. So basically the idea is to have a single window grievances mechanism that is being put in place.
So what are the timeline for the completion of this project, and work has started on the Matunga railway land? Will the houses were accommodated Dharavikar too?
Yeah, see, we speak, construction has started on the land that has been acquired, purchased from, means long-term lease has been taken from the railways by the DRP. So SPV has started construction there of the railway facilities. And the timeline is about 7 years from the date of the commencement certificate. So within 7 years you have to rehabilitate. I do understand that 7 years is a very short period. But as Keynes has said, in the long run we are all dead. So we cannot tell people that you will be rehabilitated after 20, 30 years. So that doesn't make sense. At the same time, you cannot say it will run in 3-4 years. This project of this scale has a challenging timeline we have taken. That's what government has decided. So this is the 7 years. And what is the next question?
So how much, next question, this Matunga railway?
Yeah, Matunga railway land construction is going on as we speak. And on that land, on the entire railway land, there are also be rehabilitation structures also, in addition to railway facilities. So that plan also will be, layout will be hopefully submitted very soon by the SPV. So there also the construction will happen.
Sir, how much land is available in Dharavi for the infrastructure development, rehabilitation and the free sale?
So, see, total land is about 245 hectares, right, roughly. So out of that, 108 hectares is only available for redevelopment. The rest goes in various other things where you cannot build. Out of that, from the master plan, it is seen that about 43% goes for rehabilitation, right? I mean, which is big, and the remaining goes for the sale component. Okay, but this is where actually rehabilitation has started now. Rehabilitation component has started now. Pre-sale will start perhaps whenever the SPV decides. I think it's little too early for that, but they can decide whenever they want. But our priority is to ensure that rehabilitation is completed in time.
Sir, the time and again people have cried fall about the allegation of undue TDR benefits given to Adani. It is true, or is there is any system to monitor the Dharavi TDR?
No. See, this TDR is given to the project, and TDR is not given special to this project. TDR is available in entire Mumbai. So government, when it decided about TDR, there are two decisions taken in Dharavi project as a vital public purpose project. One is to do away with indexation, because the rates of Dharavi are very low. They have not been revised for ages. Second is to ensure that whatever TDR is generated, it is going to be consumed. Because a lot of TDR will be generated. If the TDR is not consumed, then what is the point of generating it? And secondly, where will the cash flows for this project will come through? So this decision has been taken by the government, keeping these things in view. And secondly, see, there are what TDR we have in Mumbai. We have a road TDR, then there is a municipal TDR, and also there is a slum TDR. So the government thought very rightfully that slum TDR should be given the topmost priority. And very, very simple reason. Look at Dharavi, for instance. Dharavi, the slum is there. But within Dharavi, there are several reservations. There is a reservation for open space, there is a reservation for a school. All types of reservations are there. But they exist only on paper for the last 30-40 years, because there is a slum. Roads are also there, but only on paper. So when you give priority to slum TDR or to slums, automatically the roads, the open spaces, they also get developed. So this is how the entire process has been worked out by the government in this project.
Sir, Dharavikar has raised the concern about being shifted to Donar dumping ground and the salt pan lands. How do you wish to address this?
See, what does the government order say? Government order says those eligible will be inside Dharavi, those not eligible residents, as far as residents are concerned, they will be outside within Mumbai. Okay? Getting land in Mumbai is not easy. Not easy, because there is hardly any land available. The SPV tried to get it in Vadala, they could not get it. So they started approaching different agencies. And we have written to different agencies that they should decide about the land as per their rules and regulations regarding land disposal. And now, after this, we got the SPV got land in Kurla, for instance. They got some land in salt pan land, which is Jamas salt pan land, allotted and taken possession. But remaining lands are yet to come into possession of the DRP. Lands are going to DRP, not to the SPV. And there is one place called Aksa in western suburbs that is also likely to come to us, come to the DRP, so that the development process can start there for rehabilitation and sale component also. The issue is regarding now. Let us come to this dumping ground, right? Donar dumping ground. See, first efforts will be made to ensure that the existing other lands are not are exhausted. Number one. Then only DRP, the Donar should be touched upon. Secondly, there is another reason why that should take place, because Donar cleaning by the BMC is going to take time. I understand that. Government understands it very well, very correctly. But we cannot wait for the process to stop. So other places rehabilitation will start. And let me assure you, let me assure the public in general also, that unless the Donar ground is made habitable, secondly, unless all the green clearances, all the environment clearances are taken, no construction will be permitted on the Donar dumping ground. So please rest assured on that. Unless it becomes livable, nothing can be done on that, and nothing will be allowed to be done on that.
Sir, locals of Mulund, Malad, Kurla has opposed the rehousing of ineligible Dharavikars, and in the located land parcel there are and how is the government dealing with this issue?
See, Dharavikars are not somebody aliens; they are also Mumbaikars, right? So there is something called we hear about not in my backyard. So mean, अपने पास नहीं चाहिए लोग. So that is some people. You cannot say everybody is opposing it, right? And these colonies that are going to come up, they will not be another slum. There is a misgiving possibly that slum will be shifted there. No, slum will not be shifted there. Instead, a new colony will be constructed with all the amenities. It will look like any other colony. So there should be no reason why that should be opposed at all. So government is addressing, number one, by communicating, number two, by ensuring that these colonies are properly developed so that there is no ghettoization in the process, no gentrification in the process, and third, all the amenities are given as per the rules in these colonies. So there should be no fear on that count.
So there are concerns that railways don't allow the sublease of its land, so housing society of Dharavi residents who are rehabilitated to railway lands probably will never enjoy the full ownership rights of the land. Please clarify this point.
Oh, it's a very good point. Thank you for asking this to clarify. This point was there initially. Railways said sublease cannot be done, but after a lot of discussion, railways have agreed to give sublease to the slum dwellers. So the societies will be allowed to be given sublease by the DRP. Okay, so that issue stands closed and stands resolved. So it will be like any other society, any other SRA society, where the building should be transferred to the society. So it is not very different from them. So that issue stands resolved. Yeah.
Sir, last question. The Dharavi Development has finally taken off under your leadership. What different approach did you bring to make this project come to life?
See, it is not me actually. That is wrong to say that I have done it. It is always the team. And more important than the team is the government leadership actually, which ensured that this happened. Okay, so that is the first point. Second is how it is different. How it is different is, first it is declared as a vital public purpose project. Number two, all the concerns of the local residents, have been addressed. Like, what is the biggest concern? Biggest concern is the eligibility. If this has been implemented like any other SRA project, 50% means about 3 to 4 lakh people would have been thrown out. And where they would have gone? They would have gone to another slum. And they would have started another slum, or they would have come back to Dharavi. So there would have been no slum rehabilitation. Instead, here what we said is housing for all. Third is the financial structuring that has been different from the present methods. And fourth, of course, is the SPV model, where government partners with the lead partner in a very transparent manner through global bid process and ensures that issues are resolved. And finally, to prepare a proper master plan and a business plan. So with this, there is one more important point which I have addressed in this interview, but however I would like to repeat. The government looked at this project as a livelihoods project. How to ensure the livelihoods are taken care of, livelihoods are protected. For that, measures have been taken, including, I gave one example, small example of how state GST will be refunded, right? Housing for all. So these 5-6 steps ensured, I think, that this process of construction has started. I think this is how this project is different from the rest of the projects. Hopefully, if it is successful, I do believe it will be successful for the residents, successful for the residents. It can be a role model for the future.